What's up guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to the Bianconeri zone for a new video about Juventus having a 200 million euro transfer budget for the upcoming transfer window in the summer. It sounds fantastic, it sounds, as you can read, wow, 200 million euros again. That was a story reported in the Corriere dello Sport, almost 200 million, it was 193 or whatever. That was the calculation they made. However, it was a very interesting piece if you read into it, because it's not 200 million straight in cash. There were some deals laid out that involved swaps, sales, players we have on loan being sold, and so on and so on. The 200 million was just how do you want to call it, like accumulation of a lot of deals. But the point was that Juntali has 200 million to basically reinvest in this squad with some interesting deals. Obviously, Tonali's name popped up, but not the only one. So that's what we're going to talk about. Before we do that, as always, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's go. Because 200 million sounds fantastic and scary at the same part, at the same time, because I don't know how many people really trust Juntali at this moment in time, because the deals he has done, most of them are not good. Now, I don't think it's only on him as well. I think, players have a responsibility, coaches have a responsibility as well. If you look at Di Gregorio, I think that was a good transfer. I think he's a good goalkeeper. I think Thuram is a fantastic signing, and if you look back at it right now, you're like, that's kind of a steal with the growth and the development he has shown. And also, I think the good part is that how much he can still, develop and grow. That being said, Koopmeiners is not working out, Douglas Luiz is not working out, Nico Gonzalez is not working out. He spent a lot of money on Kelly, Alberto Costa signed, but for which reason? So it doesn't sound all rosy if you hear 200 million. Now, the Tonali deal is leading the front basically. He is obviously right now a clear target like Koopmeiners was last summer. Now, the reports are not easy to talk to Newcastle. However, it's being reported right now that Tonali just wants to come back to Italy because he misses it. I don't really believe that. Maybe he misses it, but I don't think he's going to leave Newcastle just because of that. I don't think Newcastle are very open in selling him. If you read into it, they don't have financial issues anymore, especially if they make it to the Champions League, and they're beating Crystal Palace to pieces as well at this moment in time. So that being said, that doesn't sound like a straightforward deal, if you know what I mean. Also, the Douglas Luiz to Newcastle thing feels very forced. It feels like we want to move out Douglas Luiz, and the media is just linking him with every single Premier League club out there. Or Juve are leaking that, or Douglas Luiz's people are leaking the fact that, okay, he wants to go back to the Premier League, Newcastle want him, we make other teams move for him as well. But right now, it sounds too simple. You get Tonali, but you need to flip in some cash, and you need to throw in Douglas Luiz. It sounds too easy, straightforward, how do you want to call it? Normal, like it makes sense, or like it doesn't make sense, but it makes sense. Oh, it's that easy. So that's a very iffy one, and we need to be careful with that, rumor. That's one. The other part of the news is tricky. It's really tricky because it's selling that player. It's getting that player in for that money plus cash. Excuse me. The list goes on and on and on. It's about the club's idea to reinvest again, especially first to fix that backline, and two, that's the most important thing right now, because for them, Tonali is the main target, and the media is like, it's gonna happen, or like that's the number one target. There's no other option basically. It's the attack that's becoming an issue right now for Juve, and that's why they talk about a 200 million budget, because they are talking about potentially getting Colomani as well, which is in that budget, and also because if Vlahovic goes, and it was Colomani, but it was between brackets because maybe you don't get Colomani, that the club will put in a bid for not Gyökeres, but Sesko. That's the player Juntali really likes. That's the player the club has been following the most in terms of a number 9 You know, they've not been following. Obviously, they've been following Gyökeres and so on, but the focus was always on Sesko being Juve, and that was part of the list. So if you look at it, it sounds 200 million, but if you add Tonali and Sesko to it, you're already almost at the 200 million euros, basically, you know. And then it was all not fringe players, but there was a list of options out there where it's like Cherki was in that list, for example. Camuzzo was in that list. I'm blanking out all these names because it was a long list of players, you know. But the 200 million, the bulk of that, like 80% of that, was because of Tonali and potentially Sesko, you know. So as pleasing and scary at the same part as it sounds that, you know, we have 200 million to spend potentially this summer, this upcoming summer, Champions League or no Champions League, should be very clear and obvious for the club. You need to fix that back line, excuse me. That's one, period. That's the most important thing to begin with or to plan with, you know, because there are a lot of moving pieces right now. We have a lot of players on loan or with options or injured and so on, and then you move out to the back line, to the striker department. In my opinion, yes, it's good if you can get Tonali, but it's pointless if you have Tonali and you have absolutely no striker up top. You know, Lookman was on that list because apparently Lookman wants to join Juve. Is he the answer? He's not a real number 9, you know. And again, maybe the coach, the new coach, whoever it's gonna be, is it Tudor? Is it Conte? Is it whoever it is? Maybe he doesn't want a number 9, an out and out number 9. So maybe Sesko disappears from that list and the Lookman thing comes back into play, you know. So for me, it's all about Giuntoli getting his priorities straight. And with straight, I mean before a Club World Cup, you need to know who's your coach. Is it Tudor or is it not Tudor and you already have your next lined up? You know, because you cannot go past the Club World Cup and be like, we're going to sack Tudor, because you've not planned for that. You know, you bring in the new coach and then you need to readjust, you know, and rethink the options you already had in mind, you know, for the transfer window. Maybe the next coach doesn't like, I'm making it up, you know, doesn't like a Tonali, you know, or he doesn't want to be linked to Osimhen, you know, that should not be a striker. Osimhen was also on that list, but for Corriere dello Sport, it's Sesko because Napoli doesn't want to sell Osimhen to Juve. So for Giuntoli, it's getting your priorities straight. Is it Tudor? Is it not Tudor? Is it a ball-playing centre back? Is it just a hard-faced nose centre back? And is it a number 9? Is it not really number 9? And then you can move on around and, you know, try to involve players and move some pieces here and there. But for now, you need to be smart being Giuntoli, because after this summer, after last summer, and what happened throughout the season, there's absolutely no room for error, you know. So yeah, let me know in the comments what should be the priority. Should it be the back line? Should it be the attack? Or should it be the midfield again? Because we invested a lot of money in the midfield already this summer with Koopmeiners, with Thuram, and with Douglas Luiz. Yeah, let me know in the comments. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I will speak to you guys tomorrow. Ciao.